Hey there, it's Mike here, and welcome to the Blended Family Coaching Show. It's going to be a bit different today. I'm only going to take a few minutes of your time, and I'm sorry to say you're stuck with just me, but don't worry, Kim's going to be back next week. Just a few days ago, our family experienced a loss. After a long battle with Alzheimer's, Kim's dad, Dave, passed away. And right now, we're preparing to join her family both to grieve our loss as well as to celebrate Dave's life. And as we're in the middle of this few episodes focused on our kids' perspective, it got me thinking about this strange dichotomy between grief and celebration. You know, specifically for kids, the beginning of stepfamily life was triggered by a loss. It all started either because of a death of a parent or some kind of separation between their parents. Because the journey towards stepfamily life started with a loss, this can create a paradox for us and especially for our kids. Hope and joy associated with the new stepfamily journey are often peppered with sadness and grief from those previous losses. And commonly, it's our kids who experience the most grief throughout the process. You know, Ron Deal shares this analogy that loss is a little bit like an earthquake. There tends to be aftershocks that follow that initial quake, and those aftershocks can cause damage just like the quake did. It's simply not a one-time event. It starts with that initial experience, the initial quake, and then it's followed by these ongoing aftershocks that can be triggered unexpectedly and really catch us off guard. A parent's engagement or a remarriage can feel like an aftershock. It's a final reminder that mom and dad will never be together again. Having to adjust to a new step-parent or new step-siblings create aftershocks. Moving to a new home, changing house rules, moving back and forth between two homes, having two sets of parents at sporting events or musical recitals. All of these things can create unexpected aftershocks that pull that grief up to the surface for our kids. As parents, we might be thinking, well, how can I eliminate the aftershocks, even though we know that's impossible? Well, the real trick is to minimize the impact of those aftershocks. And we do that actually by surfacing the loss and the sadness. You see, grief has great power when it's kept buried deep in our hearts and our minds. But that power starts to dissipate as it's brought up to the surface. You know, right now I'm doing my best to love Kim through her loss, and I'm observing what she's experiencing, and I'm just checking in with her. I'm noticing when her mood changes, and I'm trying to be sensitive to when she wants to talk. I listen as she expresses what she's experiencing, and I'm doing my best to respond with empathy. I'm reflecting back what I hear her saying, and I'm just trying to affirm that her feelings are legitimate and it's going to be okay. I'm doing my best to bring a sense of stability in a situation that I can't change or fix. Now, I'm not doing it perfectly. I'm simply doing my best to be present with her as she grieves. And I know in the days to come that there's going to be some aftershocks, memories triggered by pictures or stories. And some of those are going to be good memories and some maybe not so good. And most likely those aftershocks are going to keep coming for months, maybe even years as we move forward. As you move forward, remember that your kids are likely experiencing aftershocks that may hit when you least expect it. And you don't have to be perfect. You need to be present. That's what they really need. You need to have the wisdom to simply slow down and listen to them. They might just need to talk it out as you offer an empathetic ear and an understanding response. And when you do that, you're helping them to surface that grief and dissipate the power of those aftershocks. Now, if you haven't already, you might want to back up to the last episode where we explored several reasons that kids might be resisting their step-parent. Most of those things can create some aftershocks. And next week, Kim's going to rejoin us, and we're going to be sharing some specific strategy, kind of the how-tos of helping kids move forward. In the meantime, I just want to thank you for your grace as we pause our regular show this week. And I also want to say thanks to a few of our coaching clients and listeners who already heard about our loss, and they've responded with prayers and encouragement for us. We're just so grateful for you. So thanks for joining me just for a few minutes today. And as we close up, we would so appreciate your feedback. Would you consider leaving us a rating and a review over on Apple Podcasts? We're so grateful to hear from you, and we really look forward to being back with you next week.